Welcome to our second webinar this month. If you missed the one we held last week, which was about Folder as a Service, or any of our previous webinars, then please visit our website where you can view all the previous recordings and sign up for our upcoming sessions too. So we hope to provide some useful information around solving accounts payable capture challenges with TransformAI. This is definitely Damien's bag, so he'll be delivering the content this morning.
Thank you, Di. It's interesting you say this is definitely my bag. I'm wondering, we need to find things that are other people's bags. I would like to get off a heckle. It would be quite nice. Good morning, everybody. This is TransformAI from Square 9. So the usual caveats apply with this presentation. Firstly, this is a whistle-stop tour. These 15 to 30-minute webinars are fantastic, but as you'll appreciate, the products that we bring are very, very powerful, very broad in scope. So we don't pretend that you're going to get to know everything about TransformAI and Square 9 and Global Capture and all of those things in half an hour. So I say this all the time on these things. Reach out to those account managers, get some time set up with myself, the dev guys, the PS guys, to run through what's going on with this. We've had Square 9 Global Capture and TransformAI actually on our portfolio for some time. It's a product we really, really like working with. We really enjoy working with the guys from Square 9 as well. And TransformAI really has changed our thinking of the Square 9 product set as well. So hopefully we'll give you a whistle stop. Now, what you'll see on the screen, hopefully in front of you, is a presentation. I'll be completely transparent. I stole this from Square 9, didn't write my own. You know, if you want an idea, go to a museum, all that kind of good stuff. But the guys, I've left their name on the front page of this: Stephen Young, Dan Miranda, basically the boss and the head of the solutions dev team at Square 9, did a proper webinar about this from their standpoint back along. If you zap that QR code, you can register on the Square 9 site to see that one. So this is a whistle stop to tell you really why we like TransformAI and where we sit it fitting within our portfolio. So there we go. So I'm not Stephen Young, in case anyone was confused by that. I am still Damien.
And I'm not Dan.
You could be. Do you want to be Dan? I could be Steve, you could be Dan. Let's try and remember that for the whole way through. Let's do that. I think that'd be great. Okay. I will say their webinars are interesting. It's different. Stephen Young and Dan really do have a really deep insight into the industry, as you would expect. So it's worth checking in on what they do. Zap that QR code and get that done. Still, there we go. Moving on. Right. They love an agenda. I really don't. So let's just crack along. Just a reminder, who are Square 9? Square 9, you will notice, or you might notice if you've been talking to us for a while, have really changed their marketing and their approach. And they changed their, if you like, their elevator pitch to really include this AI power message. It kind of occurred really back end or beginning of last year, to be fair. But they really have started to embrace this as the way forward. It's the core of their product offering now. There's an awful lot going on. So Square 9, just to remind you though, 2 decades in the market, headquartered in the US, thousands of customers. We can give you a proper elevator pitch when we've got more time if you want to know stuff. But the reality is these guys have been around a long time. They have a very established product, a very established customer base. We've been working with them for a long time, and in fact developed components and bits that sit within some of their products that we use as well. So we've got an awful lot of skills on this product in the UK and Europe and the Nordics, of course. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, get hold of those account managers. They'll have more time. What do the guys offer? Again, this is one of the things we love about Square 9 is it's not just a capture tool. It's not just an ECM or an IAM. We have web forms. We have process automation. We have the AI engines. It's a full suite of products that can be integrated tightly together. And one of the real headlines that we very much like about this is it's available on premise. Of course, it's available full SaaS. So this is a capture product that can be run entirely contained in cloud with AI. There's not that many of those that offer the flexibility of global capture. So talk to those account managers. If you're not familiar with it, get them in there, get understanding this thing. They love a badge. I did leave this in. I would normally bin all this stuff out, but I do think it's really interesting because Square 9 aren't the usual approach. They don't sit and pay to get into Gartner quadrants and stuff like that. What they prefer to do is to use things like Trust Radius and to be in award sets that they don't pay to enter. And there's a lot of them. So do take a look on Trust Radius, do look at Capterra, do take a look at some of the awards, because they keep winning them, and doing frankly a very, very good job at the partner offering as well. We really like working with them from that perspective. Okay. Oh, that was a whistle stop, wasn't it? Well, you're down, aren't you, Diane? So,
Yeah.
right. If you've been around the global capture, the Square 9 capture engine for any length of time, you'll know that we used to have all of the usual suspects when it came to the technology. So we had a rapid adapt template creator, we had line item extraction, we had regular expression and pattern matching, all of the things that you perhaps use in a more traditional model, in that sense that a user can create generic templates that they could validate, they could train the system to have basic templates, and of course those templates could manage very, very powerful line item extraction should we want to. And there's quite a lot in that template designer that we really, really like. The ability to parent markers and all sorts of very clever things with it. And we've done some very, very powerful projects with this that are delivering some astonishing results, actually. But there is still an impact there in terms of needing to have the templates and have that training thing, you know, get a user to look at it, that sort of stuff. So whilst templating is a lot faster than manual data entry, as I'm sure anyone on this call will understand, there is still that thing about building templates and managing that. And there's still a lot of reasons why you would do this. There are a lot of places where we still need that templating tool, but of course the new way of doing things involves us being able to build out very quickly these AP solutions and talk into accounts payable applications. So this is me basically saying this TAI, TransformAI toolset, really is speeding up and improving how we deliver projects with around accounts payable to hook into the wider Square 9 environment for three-way matching, for export into ERP and accounts applications. And you'll see there Dynamics 365 is fully supported now. There's a QuickBooks built-in. They've done projects with Sage, Infor and stuff. We've got a Xero plugin and various other things that are available. So just about anything and everything can be done. And again, this is a whistle stop, can't really dwell. TransformAI was introduced last year, I believe. Really, it came to our price book. So this was a fundamental change away from that template, very powerful, very established templating tool, but away from that templating tool. It's really nice from the Square 9 perspective that this is very specifically tailored towards accounts payable. And in typically Square 9 fashion, it doesn't just arrive as, oh, we've now got AI. There's a bunch of resources and things around there designed to speed up this process of delivering projects into customers, as well as still giving you massive flexibility. So the real key things and the driver behind TransformAI is improving the data accuracy. And we've done content and webinars around AI. And one of the big findings that we've come across is that the OCR engines employed by AI seem to give us much better results than traditional AI. And there's a much broader conversation, sorry, not traditional AI, traditional OCR. Much broader conversation we can't fit into 30 minutes, but if you want to know more, give me a shout and we'll talk about the findings and what we're playing with and how it's working. Of course, it's more accurate, which is great, but we're really on about that significantly reducing, as it says there, the delivery time, the pro services time, to make projects more cost effective, because ultimately, if things are more approachable to the market, it broadens the number of customers that we can bring in. And delivery of capture projects is generally one of the most expensive aspects of the whole project. And of course, pro services impact how it can be funded and various other things. So it's really important across the whole gamut of the solution that we go there. And of course, it's faster for users. And do you know what? One thing that I think is actually relevant is, at the moment, everybody is using AI as a buzz phrase. So if we throw that in early into a conversation, customers are almost getting that, well, I must be on trend. I must be at the bleeding edge, if you like, because everything cool's happening with AI at the moment. Not necessarily the truth, but from a marketing perspective, it certainly makes conversations a lot easier. Okay. Let's talk about what TransformAI can actually do. as I said, what I like about TransformAI is it's very, very tailored to exactly and explicitly invoice and receipt extraction. Okay, so what you can see in front of you, I'm not going to list them for obvious reasons, are the fields or the data points that TransformAI is able to return. Okay, now these in the configuration could be enabled or disabled or omitted, more accurately. So the workflow can include or exclude these elements, and they really are simple to turn on. You quite literally just add the field into your workflow. So if you you can start to train and build the functionality that you're looking for. So for example, if somebody is wanting to deal with the expenses receipt, we might be looking for things like service charge and gratuities and things like that. If we're looking purely for accounts AP stuff, then we're going to be looking at the vendor piece and the dates. And if we're looking for AR, of course, we're coming into receivings and various other stuff. So you can see here that we can start to tailor things out in the same workflow with the data points available. And because it's framed out for us, it makes that really simple. We can tell the customers, this is what we can pull off, what do you want, which is quite nice. Now, a little bit, Square 9 is American, and in there it says vendor name, not supplier name. Now, this isn't us not removing the S's and the Z's and all that kind of good stuff and anglicizing it. This is driven by the AI model. So this isn't us being awkward. That's and it's not that it's not anglicized. We're testing it. It works in the UK and Europe really quite nicely, as you would expect. But of course, the AI engine is from a wider model supplier. Just heading that one off with a pass in case anyone was wondering. All right. Let's get this out there as well. TransformAI does support full line item extraction. In fact, we find AI capture of tables to be generally more reliable than we do traditional templating tools, unless it's something very specifically different, in which case there are areas that we'll talk to you around the fact that all AI stuff or all OCR stuff is going to suffer with the same kind of challenges around tables. But TransformAI for us has been a really strong performer in terms of line item extraction. Again, if you want to see it, understand it, work out why it's better for doing it, then by all means, get hold of us, get a tailored demo, or even access to one of our demo sets so you can play with the thing yourself. Okay. This is an American slide deck, so I've realized it's got more words in it than I would normally have. And this is open to debate. However, the message is there. We talked about shortening the pre-sales time, and you can see here that this is Square 9's idea of how quickly, once the given that the SaaS instances does set up, this is Square 9's idea on average of the difference that AI has made to their AP import process delivery. So you can see, I guess it's coming down to 50% reduction in that time. There is an aspect of that, of course, of this being based on a SaaS instance as well. As we've said, TransformAI is a SaaS solution. Okay, you're not installing anything completely locally. So there we go. Right, how much time have we got? We've got what, 9-10 minutes. Okay, so we're actually going to try and take a look at the Square 9 interface itself, and hopefully leave ourselves a little bit of time for some questions, should there be any at the end. Now, first of all, let's actually do this. There we are. Welcome to Global Capture. Okay, this one's going to run a little slower because I'm running a WebEx and I've got this routed through a whole load of different things. But there's a few pieces around Global Capture that are quite important to us, so I will just refresh your memory. I'm assuming, of course, that you've all heard about Square 9 and you're all familiar with the Global Capture product and you're familiar with our story around capture as a standalone thing, and so on and so on and so on. If you're not, get hold of the accounts team, get them in, get them understanding. If you're still using products from AutoStore, if you've got an ECM where capture has to be into the ECM, things like that, then get hold of that accounts team, because there is certainly a very large market push for us to be able to deliver this functionality into ECM, such as Square 9's Global Search, but also into environments like SharePoint 365 and Google Drive, where people want to use a different endpoint, but still have all of that approvals and accounts payable functionality. That's definitely a trend. It's a thing we're seeing a lot. Talk to the account managers about that. Going to have to assume, because of the time, that you know a little bit about Square 9's Global Capture. This is our Lego set, as you can see down the right hand side, all of the bells and whistles and things that we can do to build workflows and capture instances and processes within the global capture piece. We've done a lot of content on this stuff before. Please feel free to refer back to that stuff or get us involved. But we love this tool because a couple of things are true. First of all, a single workflow can have multiple outcomes. Okay, a single workflow can release to different storage, different repositories. We can aim it through different aspects of capture. We can have multiple text exports. One workflow can drive multiple inputs and multiple outputs through an unlimited series of data modification in the middle, including validation portals. So this is global capture, and of course within global capture is our wonderful batch portal. Now again, this is fully hosted, and what you'll see here, of course, is, there we go, everything that's happening within my workflow, and of course everything that is available within this piece. Now it means if I look here as a user, I could come in here, that's actually just modify searches, and I could create searches to find documents that are sat in a particular status. They might, something super simple. Show me invoices that need approving with a value over £500, or a value with this department, or whatever that might be. And that approval process or that business process can be carried out within the capture environment, entirely SaaS, and the document can be routed there. I don't need, if I'm using Global Capture Cloud and I'm using TAI and I'm using the batch portal, I don't have to have my files within a heavyweight ECM and storage environment to get that level of control out of it. Okay, I'll try and refresh that one now. I mentioned as well through the earlier point is, yes, we have an AI engine, and yes, it can extract those data points off of finance documents without us needing to create any templates. But it's really nice that Square9 actually also give us a process to be able to download template workflows and various other resources, so we don't have to build from scratch. The idea being, as you can see, if I look at this, yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at TransformAI. There we go. Let's download that one. It's going to take a little minute. Shouldn't really have done this live. It never worked live, I guess. It's always a bit terrifying. But I don't have to be building everything from scratch. This workflow that you can see here, there we go. Let's decide on a batch portal. It's nice to do things live, just makes things prove that it's real. But this workflow that you can see with all of these lovely bells and whistles into it is a template available from Square9. I haven't got to build all this stuff from the ground up. That makes training on it easy. It makes delivery easy. It makes all of those things. And this carries on. There we go. You can see a very easy resolution. There we are. This is going to ask me to resolve quite a lot of them. There we go. Import that, and that is as simple as it will be for me to import a full workflow to the global capture instance as we go. And you can see here that it's brought the fields, it's brought the lists, it's brought everything that I might want to. And if I go and take a look at this, let's duplicate this. There we are. It's obviously going to take a little minute because I'm running a webinar. It's just hoovering up all of my bandwidth. But I'm going to get that workflow downloaded with all of the relevant fields, all of the configuration, all of the permissions, everything else that I might want. There we are. Come on, come to me. There we go. There we are. And we should see right there, yeah, the workflow that we just pulled in, ready to rock and roll, and that was the whole process live. Diane, I don't know why I do that stuff, because one day it's going to go bang. But I just think we should actually do these things live, prove that we're not making it up, right?
It keeps us on the edge of our seats.
I know, if this is the most exciting you're going to get out of your day, then terribly sorry. But there we go. That, guys, was us actually importing a workflow, hooking it up into a process, and from there we could then go on and configure that into the TAI AI extraction piece. So enough waffling, let's actually see what's gone on. You should be able to see there that there's my TransformAI file that we were looking at, and I can move that forward if I want to and drive it into a place where I can get all of the results that I might want off of that document. And that functionality, by the way, is still there. If I want to, I can still open this document for AI extraction. There we go. It can be automated. I've got this one hanging on me manually because I want it to turn out where it might be. And I can scroll through this, I can search across it, and we can see here's one we submitted earlier with all of the values that I want off of it, the date, and hopefully some accounts payable line items would be available to me as well, and other things that I might want to drive through it. And you can see different phone numbers and other things that we've got for it, and that document's been automatically released into a SharePoint environment, into a Square 9 environment, into a 365 environment, into a Google environment. Importantly, if it goes into the Square 9 global search environment, which is all part of the business essentials bundles and various other things that we can get, that would then be subject to a process for three-way matching, for multi-level approvals, for data extraction and import into 365 Dynamics or other ERPs. And all of that stuff is available as a full template offering. So happy to drive on with this stuff. You can see this one's been submitted, but to summarize this thing back out, okay? TAI, Global Capture Cloud, fully hosted, AI-powered accounts payable capture solution that can release into the Square 9 suite, or it can release into cloud environments and other environments that you know via things like CloudBridge for SQL and various other tools that we might have. Okay, so this now is available for us to import via a watch folder off of a local workstation with a CTS client. We also can import via mail. There's a number of different mechanisms that we can get data into this thing and out of this thing. It removes the need for templating, but the templating engine is still there. So if we're bringing documents in that are specific, that aren't really going to work within an AI engine, a general accounts payable engine. So things like very complicated logistics documents, we have quite a lot of logistics customers, things like import declaration documents, we deal with quite a lot of processing. The lovely thing about that global capture design is the ability to route different things through different pieces of capture. As you can see, I've got multiple routes for classification in this workflow. Some things I want to go to AI, some things I don't, and we have that wonderful mix and match capability within the global capture environment. That again is unusual in this category. I'm not saying unique, but unusual. Certainly when we match it with that batch portal capability. So get hold of the account managers, guys. This is a thing that really does offer an awful lot of power for a very, very minimal setup. And it certainly is on trend. I will throw out there as well that TAI handles, as well as anything, is pretty damn impressive actually. I find it difficult to believe, but handwritten invoices to a certain amount. Quite how useful that is nowadays. I perhaps shouldn't say this live, but we don't see a huge amount of handwritten invoices, but it does manage it, which is a very impressive demonstration when you put it in front of the customers and the prospects. Again, a critical piece for me is this batch portal, is this ability to manage and search within it, create secure searches, manage business processes before my documents go to their repository. I don't need to stick them in a heavyweight ECM before I can do some work with them and some process. That's again unusual, if not unique. We're going to be doing a webinar, I believe, Diane, about running the ECM process without an ECM further down through the summer. I think it's going back the other side of August now, about using existing storage to drive exactly that process. Hence the reason I'm not showing it too much. Okay, so I'm actually 4 minutes ahead of schedule, which is marvelous as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure everybody else is concerned, because this isn't the most exciting thing that's going to happen to it today, is it? If there
aren't any questions in the Q&A, we have got a couple of minutes. I believe most people are probably, but I was just going to also mention that we do have another webinar on Friday next week, the 5th of July at 9:30, where we're going to be talking about Selectec Plus. Whereas if you feel you do have opportunities for things like this, but maybe you don't yet have the skill set within your business, then actually Selectec can help you. So how much more can we give away on that, Damien?
Is if you're super excited about Selectec Plus, which I am, and I've got 3 minutes, so I will say something about it. Okay, if you are, get hold of your account managers or me, or anywhere if you can get hold of me. But talk to them, and I'll tell you for why. People banging on about AI, batch portals, capture, ERPs, cloud. Have you got time? You know, I'm very fortunate. Me and the guys are very fortunate. We get to spend an awful lot of time immersed in this stuff. It doesn't freak us out. It's not scary. So, you know, Select Plus is fantastic because ultimately it's like having access to us without actually having to put up with us all the time. You can just use the bit you want. My wife tells me that only having me around for minimal amounts of time is a benefit. So I guess it's a really nice expansion. You can go into these bigger, more powerful conversations, knowing that you don't you don't necessarily have to give yourself a massive upskill or put yourself in a precarious situation of not really knowing what's going on. So I think I'm really excited for Select Plus, and Ben, I think it goes really nicely with the revised sales process that we're also bringing to the channel as well.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. And there'll be a lot of noise and a lot of communication around that, guys, so expect some information from your chat from your account managers, and I'm going to be going out there and speaking to some of the team as well, and some of the resellers. So it's we can't really say too much about it because then we'll ruin the whole webinar on the 10th of July. But it is very exciting, and it is a very different way of doing business from Selectec. But I think it's going to be incredibly beneficial for the channel, and it's going to be incredibly beneficial for your customers as well. So watch this space, and we'll bring you all the information as and when we can. But we're very, very excited about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to finish up, guys, with if you got that QR code zapped earlier, if you want to see a proper demonstration of TransformAI done by the guys in America, please go to that. This session was not designed to be a full demonstration. It was just to remind you that we do have a full enclosed search capable AI powered capture tool on the portfolio. The pricing is very, very strong as well, so do go there. But if you do want to see that demo, do go to the Square 9 webinar. It's available on demand, or alternatively, get hold of the account managers, get hold of my colleague who's there on my screen, who's above me, who is now Dan, through the day, and ask her for a demo. And one of the lovely PS guys, or unfortunately you might land up with me, will take you through the capabilities of the thing fully. All right, so apologies for the whistle stop tour, but thank you very much for attending. And look at the time, Dan, look at the time, getting good at this.
Perfecto. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for joining this morning. Like we said, that was just to plant some seeds. Please do come to us, reach out, and we can do some more training, kind of personalized overviews, and we can even talk to your customers as well. So please use our resource. We're here for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've been Dan. It's been great today. We'll speak soon.
All right,
Nice work, Dan and Damo, the new two.
Whee! Love it. All right, I'm going now. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.